Welcome back to another episode of the Gap Down Backer podcast. Today, our guest is Coach Herbert Davis. He is the head football coach at Madison-Ridgeland Academy in Madison, Mississippi. Coach, how you doing?
Good, man. Glad to have me on.
I appreciate you coming on, Coach. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule and we'll talk some ball tonight, talk about your offense. Before we get into it, and probably a good portion of our audience will know who you are based off some of y'all's success. I mean, you guys do a good job at publicizing your program and some of the stuff you do. But for those of you who don't, do you want to kind of give a quick background on how you ended up at Madison Ridgeland and what kind of success you've had?
Yeah, well, I've been blessed. I've bounced around a little bit. I guess I'm more known for probably taking more. I think 5 different schools to state championships in the state of Mississippi, and so. Bounced around a little in public, private, and college. JUCO in here in Mississippi is pretty big. I was there a couple of years too. Finally found a great place in Madison-Ridgeland Academy and decided that it was time to settle in. And been here 7 years. Played for the state championship 6 out of 7 years we've been here. Won the last 2 in a row, and should have won 3, but we should have, would have, could have. But that's kind of how I got here. I've been doing this. I think this was my 29th or 30th year. I can't remember, but I think I've been a head coach 24 of those. So that's kind of been around the block a little bit.
Now, what do you attribute to all that success you've had over the course of the years? Is it primarily the offense? Is it the staff? Is it the culture? What do you think attributes to the ginormous success you've had over the years?
I think that there's 2 things. Now that I look back on that and really look at it, I was just an old hard worker, grew up on the farm. I was fullback in high school and college, so I was the old hard-nosed guy that was a team player kind of guy. So, I really think, we really find a way to just work hard, relentless, and then I think it's about the relationships with the kids. I think you build great relationships with the kids and the parents, and obviously that goes a long way as far as kids doing the things it takes to want to play football and want to do the right things and want to build a good culture. And so I think if I had to say 2 things, that would be it.
Okay. Now I kind of want to just start getting into it. We talked a little bit through text and through phone. A little bit about your offense on and off, and I've seen some other things. Obviously, you guys on TV, and then I know you've done a clinic for Chief Pigskin. How would you describe your offense before we get into the actual intricacies of it?
For years, that if there's anything else outside of what we just talked about, I'm really a X and O junkie. I mean, I'm constantly just looking for X's and O's, new ideas, and all that kind of stuff. But I really love it. It's really kind of a passion of mine. I really just kind of enjoy doing it. On top of it just being my job. So, for a long time, I go back and look at some of my championship teams. You got to be careful not to try to do too much and try to out scheme somebody. I'll go back and look at some of our best teams I've had even through the years. We took about 5 or 6 plays, or 8 plays at the most, and we were just great at it. And no matter what you did against us, we were able to execute it. That's kind of what we're doing now. But even then, you're trying to figure out the best way to, when do I take a shot, or when do I throw this, or when do I run this play? And I think what we've done now here is been able to get multiple calls on RPOs and stuff like that can help us take what the defense gives us. And so you kind of tie that in our RPOs where we're taking what the defense gives us. Then you tie in our vertical game where we kind of, again, taking what the defense gives us. It's really all about just having a plan to be able to take what the defense gives you. And when they do, you have to be prepared to execute it. at a high standard. And so we kind of have, our set amount of plays that we're going to run, and we're going to have hopefully be great at running those against any look we see. And then it's all about the quarterback making the right decision on some of the RPOs, and obviously the receivers being in tune on the vertical routes and stuff like that. So, so hopefully people tonight will get a little something out of, being able to make a great play call, because we all kind of we've all said, man, when did I take a shot?
Yeah. Well, then let's just kind of get into that. Then is how do you determine when you take a shot? Because everybody's a little different on that. Everybody's got obviously different philosophies. Some people are very more run heavy and want to use the play action vertical game. A lot of coaches have evolved to the point where it's combined with their RPO game off of either zone or some sort of other run scheme. But when you want that big explosive play, and it was kind of funny because I was reading an article before we came on about Mike Urich getting the Penn State job. And it talked about how that's kind of one of the things his offenses have been known for over the years was explosive plays of 30 yards or more. How do you know when to take that big shot?
We don't. What we do is we call the vertical routes, and we just read it, and if they're going to give it to us, we end up taking it. Now, we do have a few, we really run verticals three different ways. We run, the true, if you're stepping on them, run by them. If they're bailing, you sit it down. Then we run the true, just truly full verts against certain looks, like especially old school cover 2 and cover 3. We kind of see that a little bit every now and then. And then obviously we run the vertical switch like they do in the run and shoot. So we really run it three different ways, but we also got it where we can, with multiple people, we can run whoever we want to vertically and let him be the guy doing the read. So, that's it. You hope you find a guy. You really just try, once you kind of set that in your scheme, then it's really all about trying to get your guy matched up on, one-on-one, because you're looking for that one-on-one. And so what we try to do is, find the right formations where they may check this coverage or check to that coverage, or, if we know if we're in this this formation, we know they're going to play us a certain way, and we're going to put our guy, that where he can, get in a one-on-one situation.
Okay. And then there's a couple more things before we get to any film I got for you is you mentioned some screens when we were talking back and forth. What does your kind of screens look like in terms of system approach? Do you try to block them all the same? Do you have small variances? Do you just tag the receiver, or is it like a specific play call? How does that work for you guys?
Yeah, well, obviously we run about three different screens, three different ways. When we run it to our back, we really pretty much high wall with our tackles, and almost like a draw. Okay. And then we let our play side guard take the play side backer, our center take the middle or backside backer. He's got the second backer, and then the backside guard is going to take if it's a third backer, he's going to take the third backer. If not, then he's going to turn around and take the trash. Somebody peeling back up on the back. So that's kind of how we do that. We really release the inside three on the on the back screens, and then jailbreaks, we just release one side. So if we go jailbreak to the right, we may say, river 1 or river 2 or river 3. We're going to throw the screen to the right. And so our right side, our right tackle, is going to be the kicker, as we call him. He's down the line. He's kicking the first thing outside the box. Our right guard would now run the alley behind him. And basically, say if we had a 4-3, we were going to screen it to our outside guy on the right. Basically, what would end up probably happening is our tackle would kick the Sam. Our guard would get up on the safety, and then we tell our center to follow him out there and turn and seal any backer coming in the box. So we don't really block certain people; we just block areas.
Okay, and then I know you also run crossers. What does your kind of crosser series look like? Is it more the pure air raid crossers where we're talking mesh, Y cross, stuff like that, or are you in a completely different direction?
No, we've done a little bit of Y cross. We're actually I think we're going to get back more to it this year. But you know, we really run mesh a lot. You know, with us being so vertical, once we get in the red zone or getting in man situations, mesh is a good little change up for us. And we run it about 3 different ways. So it's really the same read for the quarterback. We kind of run it whatever what formation we're in, how we're going to run it. But you know, that way we're getting some rubs to beat man. We're also getting people across the field. You know, if we're getting a lot of man to man, we want to run vertical and we want to run away from them. Yeah. You know, so that's kind of where the crossing stuff comes into play. You know, and this year we actually put in some crossers where we got him all the way across the field, cleared out the other side, and much like Y cross, that's kind of what it turned out to be.
Okay, and then the next thing I want to, before we get to film is I want to talk some quarterback development. What does that kind of stuff look like for you in your offense in terms of drills, in terms of teaching in the off season, in season? How do you develop your quarterbacks to be successful in your offense from a mental and a physical perspective?
I actually have some film on that if you want to watch it. Yeah. But you know, that we do kind of daily drills. We have, you know, obviously we can do a lot more with our skill guys. I mean, with our escapes. You know, they're all the different escapes you can do and all that kind of stuff. But you know, I really try to work on. You know, unlike a lot of the guys, they go these quarterback guru things, and that's good, and they're really, really good for their footwork and stuff. But a lot of guys don't really, you know, or at least the ones I've been, you know, around, they don't really try to take a lot of time and build a kid a throwing motion. So we really try to work hard from the top up first and get a very good base on how to throw the football, getting his elbow in the right slot, and how we extend and how we do all that finishing. And we just kind of take about 4 or 5 drills of those to do that every day. And then once we do that, then obviously we work down all the way down to our footwork. Okay. But what we do is, like right now, we're 2 days a week we'll go out and throw. If you just came out when you text me today, you'd have saw we had about 9 quarterbacks out there, 7 through 12, and we're all working fundamentals and throwing routes and doing whatever we got to do. But we'll throw or work fundamentals 2 days a week. Then we'll get in there on the board and watch film, you know, 1 day a week. Okay. That's kind of what we do pretty much all the way up to spring training. You know, we kind of take the basics of it, you know, learn the playbook first. And then once we kind of learn the playbook about March, about this time, we're almost about ready to get into. We'll go back and watch every film from the last year and actually go through, all right, here's the call. Why did we call it? Did he do a good job? Did he make the right read? Why did he not make the right read? Where's the blitz coming from? Why is that where the blitz is coming from? You know, just let them get used to seeing what it looks like and everything. You know, all right, hey, what's this apex guy doing on the RPO right here? What's this safety doing on the RPO right here? Just let them play the game a little bit, you know, by watching our game film from that last year. And then that pretty much carries us on into spring training. And then we get through with spring training, you know, we're pretty much into 7-on-7 mode. And we practice in the summer. I mean, we're gonna lift weights, we're gonna speed train, and then we're gonna practice. And then we're always going to finish practice against ourselves, 7-on-7, but we also try to scrimmage other local teams in the area at least once a week. And then if we can find a good 7-on-7 or something on the weekends, we do that. We go to the one at Pulaski Academy in Little Rock. It's phenomenal. So it's got teams from Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, you name it. It's a big time tournament, real fun. But anyway, that's kind of how we do it. And then, you know, that's June, and we come back we take a break off during 4th of July. We come back. We're pretty much getting into game mode because we'll report on July 28th. And like this year, we're playing a week earlier. We report on July 28th. We actually play August 13th for the week, so we don't have very pretty much time. So summer's big for us. Summer's big for us. We actually do as much as we can do in the summertime. Our kids know that we're going to compete from day one. So, because they know we're going to compete from day one and we're all 7-on-7 and just, competing for positions, we don't have many people miss. We talked about philosophy. We're a tempo offense. We have wide splits. We got the old wide Baylor splits. Now we do reduce them too for different things, but we're going to have wide splits. We're going to play fast. We don't, what does that kind of mean? We got one word for formation and play. So we could, I could touch my nose, and that means we're going to run inside zone to the right with, and it's a doubles formation, and we're going to run bubbles or whatever, just for example. So. Yeah. One signal is we call it for gas plays. So because we're going so fast, we don't flip our receivers, we're going so fast. Many of those, only our slots kind of flip there.
How many of those gas plays do you try to carry every week?
We carry 10 to 14 every week. We'll have our base 10 plays ready to go coming out of two-a-days, pretty much.
Okay.
We pretty much in two-a-days. Once we kind of teach our base concepts, then our base runs, then we're going to start connecting those two together, and have we're going to have a tempo play or a gas play for each one of our top runs, if not two.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you our top three today, and it's really nothing that a lot of people don't do, but at the same time, I think, when we're showing our RPOs, these three RPOs, I'm going to show you these three, we have completed it. When we decided to throw it, when we called the RPO and we've thrown it the last 2 years, we've completed 90%.
Dang.
So it's really all about, again, taking what the defense gives you. And if they don't, most of the time you have a favorable box, to run the football. Now, if they don't, it's probably because they're playing cover zero, and then that's where the vertical game and the screen games and the crossers got to come in. And so that's how it all matches and marries up real good. So, again, you can see on our RPOs, we're going to try to take advantage of our cushion or uncovered. We're going to read the apex defenders or safeties, cheating box. We're going to try to run the ball versus a favorable box. That's all we're trying to do on RPO. And so what we teach the best thing we do every day, you can see this is period 12. We run 4-minute periods. But everything above period 12, we're pretty much doing fundamentals on both sides of the ball. When we come to period 12 and 13, go 2-on-2. It's man-to-man. And a lot of times we go more than 8 minutes. But this one has 8 minutes on this particular day. This is late in the season, so we've kind of cut back a little bit. But this is where we really work our vertical game a ton, because we're working against man-to-man, and we're working against press and off-man. So our defense is kind of getting a good look, working on man those periods. We're getting, we're running all our man beater stuff, which for us most of the time is our vertical game. So during that period, we're going to run 80% of the time. We're going to be working vertical games, and we'll throw some out cuts and some slants and stuff like that in there. But that's kind of what we do. Then we're going to come to blitz pickup. We got good on good right there. It's blitz pickup. So they're blitzing the house, cover zero, maybe cover one. We're working on, protecting and getting the ball out and all that kind of stuff. And keep in mind, that's 4 minutes in that blitz pickup. We're going at a tempo to where we're probably getting at least 16 plays, if not more, during that 4 minute. So we're really got. So when we're doing this, we got headsets on. You can see my script down at the bottom right here. I'm just calling straight from that script during that period, and all our coaches are listening to it. And I got guys on the sideline signaling it in, just like a real ball game. So we try to have multiple coaches signaling it, because that's how we have on Friday night. We got it on Friday night. We have multiple coaches. One of them's hot, one of them's not. So everything's really like a game there. Then we go good on good and do the same thing. This is when our defense is not really going to blitz us a lot. They're going to play coverage. But at the same time, they're going to start giving us a lot of twists up front. So we're kind of working a lot of twists during that. So these little three right here, I'm going to tell you, if you said, what makes us great every day, that was just our guys competing right here, just getting after and competing every day. This is the funnest part of practice for our players. They really enjoy it, and we really get better because of it.
Now, out of curiosity, why 4-minute periods?
Because I really don't like going past 2 hours and 15 minutes, you know, and we practice both sides. Even though we try to play one way up front, we don't have enough depth. We got 55 players. We still have to practice. You know, our backups have to be, our starters on offense may be backups on defense and vice versa. So they have to at least practice both sides of the ball. So that makes it go a little bit longer than I want to. So we just try to squeeze it as much as we can. And look, with the tempo that we go at, like I say, 4 minutes, we're going to get an average of 16 plays or better during that tempo period right there. Okay. So hammer down, you can see we got 3 hammer down. The reason we split them up like that to practice in tempo, I mean, there's no way you can go that fast for really more than 8 minutes. Honestly, it's kind of tough doing it for 8 minutes. So we have to break those up so they can get a little rest in between for each one. And you can see it says versus, so I didn't put a defense, but we're going to work it against 3 different looks because we just never know what we're going to get in our league. Since we're so vertical and spread out so far, we kind of get the flavor of the week sometimes, you know. So anyway, so that's kind of a little bit about our practice. But the main thing I wanted to hammer down is this competition period. These guys right here, that's when we really, I think that's really makes our program. Now, before we get started in quarterbacks, this is something we teach our quarterbacks for pre-snap read. We call it SACS. And this is a little bit of Dub Maddox / Will Hall at Southern Miss. Okay. And Will calls it SOP. And obviously, Dub kind of does all the hard deck and all that kind of stuff. So I just kind of, you can see we got a hard deck, which is at 8 yards. We got our apex. So really, let's just start out what does SACS mean. Safeties. How many safeties is it? For us, we want to know if it's 1 or 2 safeties. And we want to know if they're above the hard deck or below the hard deck. Obviously, if they start getting towards the hard deck, the lower they are, the more we're probably about to get some pressure. The deeper they are, like they are right here, we're probably looking at getting cover 4, cover 2 potentially. All right, so then you go to A, talking to the apex players. You can see on the right-hand side right here, we got an apex player. That's the guy between the slot and the tackle. Over here, we don't have an apex player because the Mike's cheating into the box here. So that's just the 2 different looks we would look for. Obviously, those are, you know, when we're really looking for mostly our RPO stuff, that's where the apex guys really come into play. The C talks about our corners, and honestly, we just want to know, okay, what's their leverage, and are they playing man or zone? And especially the main thing we want to know is are they going to squat on us? Are they going to play flats? So that's kind of we kind of get that and want to know that by pre-snap looks right there. And the last S is for stack. Well, what does stack mean? Well, pretty much if we get a stack, kind of like we do right here, this side has potential for blitz. We don't really have a stack over here, so nobody's probably coming off the corner. Obviously, if the corner of the safety blitz is over here, you know, we got 2-on-1. So most likely the blitz is going to come over here from where the nickel's at. So how can that help us? Just one, understanding where the hot could be. I'm trying to get on my dog. Understand where the hot could be, and also understanding maybe where we would push the protection if we were bumping the protection too, to try to get big on big instead of our back taking it on. So that's kind of what we teach our quarterbacks for as pre-snaps right here. Our first RPO is pretty simple, but it's probably one of our best ones. You know, we're running wide zone right here, a mid zone to the right. We're in doubles and they're running hitches. And so we're really going to, you know, anytime we run hitches, we actually can pre-snap the whole field. We can throw the ball anywhere on the field pre-snap. Okay. If we don't feel good and comfortable about it, we basically work from the boundary to the field first. We'll take a peek at the boundary and see if they give it to us. If they don't, then we'll post snap read the field. Right here, you can see they're kind of giving it to us in the boundary because the backers walk down the blitz. He's checking the field, but we're going to pretty much throw off this guy in the boundary and take a nice, easy hitch and get it vertical right there.
Yeah.
Same thing here in a 3-4. They really, when it's all said and done, with time the backer walking down up top, and with this backer from the field cheating in tight, we actually could have thrown the hitch either way pre-snap. So we took the one to the field. Got to make sure that the safety is above the hard deck and not spinning down on us right here. And with this guy pretty much inside the apex line, we really want to throw this thing to the field. Okay? Now you look at it, pretty much everybody's covered up for the most part, which they are. They're playing two-man. And so what we'll do is we'll take a look at the boundary, and it's not there. Now we're going to post-snap read the field. You can see the eyes are on the guy to the field. He's post-snapping the apex player to the field. He's staying out here on the slot, so we're going to hand the ball off. Of course, obviously with a too-high look, that definitely gives us a 5-man box.
Now, with how explosive your offense is, how much two-man do you actually see?
This year was crazier than ever. We hardly saw any one high this year.
Okay.
We got 2 high every week. They tried to always have some safeties back there. Really, this was the only game we actually got 2-man.
Okay.
They played a good bit of it. But mostly we see in a lot of quarters and man, we do get some man free. And it really probably, I guess, that's probably the top 2 we see.
All right.
So even if we got a 1 high look right here, we're still going to have 6 in the box. We're not going to block the backside end. So we pretty much got 5 on 5 once we leave the end on the backside and let him go. But time you break this down, whether we have the gifts or not, you're pretty much going to get a favorable box if they take away the RPOs. Again, same thing. Everybody's pretty much covered up. We don't post-snap read the field, which I know what he's probably thinking. Hey, there's nobody over top of this guy right here to the field. So that means he's probably not going to blitz. And so he went ahead and handed it off. I don't like it, though. I want his eyes to be on the guy of the field. And you can see we get the bounce outside on the mid zone right here. And you remember now, you can see at the top it says gas. Well, that means we're going fast. You can see I'm barely getting lined up right here.
Do you have a goal for how long in between plays, Coach?
Sir?
Do you have a goal for how long in between plays, or do you just kind of?
I'll be honest. We started out this thing trying to go just ultimate laser fast. We've found since then, and me being a defensive guy, I mean, all 3 years I coached college, I'm a defensive guy. To me, it's a little bit tougher if you mix it up a little bit. So we're going to go fast, then we're going to slow it down. We're going to go fast, we're going to slow it down, and that's kind of how we do it. We just kind of, and I really just try to honestly just feel the momentum of the game. If we got them on their heels, we're going to snap that sucker faster every time. Okay. If we're getting, there's a possibility of us getting a little tired sometimes too, and I may slow it down, or I want to change formation a little bit. I want to freeze them to see what they're doing. Anything like that, I can slow it down a little bit. So our next RPO is mid zone again, but we're going to high wall the tackle on the backside, the guard and tackle if they're covered. So he's still going to press it to the outside hip of the tackle, reading the tackle's block. And we're really just going to run a stick concept with a hitch into the boundary. Since we're so wide, we just run a hitch to the field too. Two's going to run an outcut, 3 is going to get a mandatory outside release. So that's pretty much what we're looking for. So what we're looking for is what I call a gift over here. If we get cushion with no apex defender out here to take away the outcut, we're going to throw that. So that's the first thing we're looking for. Number one right there, we're looking for the gift into the boundary. Number 2, if we don't get that, we're going to post and out read the first guy inside the number 3 receiver right here. That's going to be that guy right there. So you can see we pretty much got a no to up top. You can see my quarterback's going to post and out read that guy to the field. We got to make sure, again, remember, got to make sure we feel pretty good about the corner not squatting on us, and we know he's not. So we got a 2-on-1 of that guy in the flat right here. All right, same thing. Pretty much got a potential squat corner up top with the safety on the hash and a kind of an apex player almost over there. So that's a no. We're going to post and out read the field. You can see he already sees him. He's uncovered. We're going to rip it out there pretty fast. He's uncovered because, again, we're going to read the first guy inside of him. Yeah. There he is. He's in the box. So it's automatically, we got pretty much 2-on-1 on this guy out here again. And so we're going to work it inside out right there. Same deal right here. You can see we're reading this linebacker I got marked right here. Because why? Safety's above the hard deck. We're not going to worry about him. Who's the next guy on or inside number 3? There he is right here. So we're going to read this guy. Again, running mid-zone into the boundary. We're going to read that guy. He's kind of stepping around out here, so our quarterback said, hey, in doubt, hand the ball off, right?
That's what I was about to ask you. When in doubt, just hand it off?
In doubt, hand the ball off. And you can see it from the end zone shot right here. It's 44 right here on the far left of the screen coming up. Woo! Yeah, there you go. It's far left. So you can see he's kind of out of the box with him kind of stuttering around like that. So he knows he can't get there. And, of course, we get a 12-yard gain off of this. But what we get is, if you look, we get 5-on-5. We're trying to get 5-on-5 right here. We got 5-on-5 with him trying to play the RPO a little bit. That gets our numbers right. This team didn't blitz a whole lot, so I actually kind of mixed it up right here. We're going to run the mid zone to the field. We're still going to read it to the same guy because, remember, it doesn't matter. If we call this particular gas play, they're lining up in trips and running that particular route, and then the people up front and the backs running the direction that I called it. You can see up right, up top, I got called gas Apache right. So we're going to run it to the right. We're still going to post and out read that guy. Our quarterback pretty much understands, hey, he's already in the box. He could bites anytime. We're going to throw it to him. Boom, get vertical.
Yeah.
So real simple. The great thing about this is simple. We're going to actually throw this ball down here at the bottom. And we got a 2-on-1 down here. I don't really like that. It's not good. We should actually be reading the backer up top.
Yeah.
Right here that I got marked. And if we do, you'll see he's really playing the RPO. So we should hand the ball off. And you can see we got a 5-on-5 again. We'd have had a pretty good run play right there. My fat butt could have got some yards there. That's really what should have happened right there. So I'm trying to give you the good and the bad.
Yeah.
But also show you what should have happened. And look, when I got in this RPO stuff, I was like, there's no way linebackers are going to play that RPO. And about halfway through the season, we started getting, every now and then, we'd get some of this kind of stuff right here.
Well, you get those linebacker coaches or those DCs that are just harping on them about getting in coverage, watch that, because you've thrown so many hitches with other stuff at that point that they're just like, oh crap, and that's part of the reason why it's so good. It's such a conflict for the defender.
Yeah, it's just they got to make a decision. And you can see here we're getting a blitz into the boundary. He sees it pre-snap, and the corner's not down, so it's an easy hitch into the boundary. So you saw a little bit of everything right there on that particular RPO. This one I'm sure everybody runs. This is the last RPO I'm going to show you. We just we call it Pepsi, which means we're running a post into the boundary right here. And then we've done it a couple of different ways. You'll probably see it a couple of different ways. We run bubbles out here and we run slants out here. And really the only reason we're going to throw it to the field pre-snap is if we get any kind of pressure from the field right there. This one we see that we're going to read the safety into the boundary. Safety's kind of already spun down. Or really there's no safety, honestly. They're playing a 4-3 cover 0. And so we know we're one-on-one. We're going to confirm that with a post-snap read and rip it to him. All we're doing, again, trying to create the one-on-ones. And you can see the backer off the edge comes and gets a hit on the quarterback. And the quarterback in our offense could have said block, 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 and tell the back to block. Since he sees it's pretty much cover 0, he could have told him to block that guy and protect himself and thrown the football. Because we already knew pre-snap we're getting the one-on-one that we want. All right, here we go again. So we run it to the left. Again, we're reading the safety into the boundary. Okay, this guy kind of floats around a little bit. Now, what we didn't do a good job of right here at receiver is, just like I have it drawn up, we want to get away from that corner. When we break, we want to fit flat away from him, and you can see he gets more vertical. That is not what we want. So you can see it for the end zone right here. The safety kind of hangs when he's meshing him. You can see the safety hanging right here. So we're going to give the football. And then he's late for sticking his nose in the box. Here we're just going to basically got the H-back set into the boundary. We're running power. We're going to read the safety again into the boundary. He's kind of sitting back, so we're going to hand the ball off again. And then they make 2 terrible tackles, but we'll take it. But as far as the read goes, you can see we got a hat on a hat up front. The extra safety that's supposed to be fitting his back, and now it's up to our back to actually make him miss.
Yeah.
And that's what we got. Here we're in a 2 tight end set, so we can be in any set. You don't have to be a spread set. And we're running counter to the right. What's our rule? We're going to read the safety into the boundary. The boundary's left. You can see this kid runs a good route and gets away from the corner, flat away from the corner. And as this safety back bites down, it's a nice, easy throw right here.
Yeah.
Now we're going to run the counter into the boundary, read the same guy. He's already down. We got one high safety, so we got to pay attention to him. And again, another good route. And you can see we're pretty much telling that quarterback that if nobody caps this area right here that we get into, which is pretty much always the hash, and nobody's capping that area, nobody's sitting on top of that route, we're going to throw the ball. If nobody's going to cap it, we're going to throw the ball every time.
Yeah.
So real simple route. Everything's pretty simple right here that we're showing you. And that's kind of, but again, same time, all we're trying to do is create less people in the box so we can run the football. And if they're going to cheat the box, then obviously we're going to throw it behind them.
Okay.
Verts and crossers. So, obviously everybody says, gosh, we got to play man to take away the RPOs.
Yes. That is the base response. And even when I coached defense, that was kind of cover 1, or that was kind of the easy, not base probably, easy response is probably the term.
Correct. And so when that happens, we kind of get fired up because, again, what are we doing every day? We're working the man-to-man beater stuff. We're working the verts. And so verts and crossers, here they come. Verts, crossers, screens, here they come. Once we get man, we want to hit the verts, crossers, and screens. So obviously we want to attack man, vertical, and horizontal and create matchups through those formations like we talked about a little bit earlier. And then obviously screens, if they're worried about us running past them, or if they're going to get down and press us and pressure us, they're really good against both. So the jailbreak screen's been a really good for us the last 2 years. And so we get to see some of that. So right here up top, all we're doing up top, honestly, is just running a vertical read by the outside guy. We have it made so we're running a post on the inside of that. So if that safety cheats over the outside like he does right here, we're always going to make them pay for it and throw the ball down the middle. So really, that's all we're looking for right there. We just put if the safety's going to take us, if the safety's going to take our slot, and we know we're one-on-one outside. If he's going to try to open his hips and run outside, we can throw the ball to the inside.
Yeah.
So again, we're pretty much reading this safety, and if he does not double our outside receiver, we're going to throw it to him. Right here, you can see we do a poor job. We end up completing this ball, but the safety spins down. The safety spins down right here. Once he spins down, that to us, that creates the one-on-one out here, and we should have thrown the ball outside. And you can see he's open. He makes a good read, and he's wide open. We complete this, but again, it's not what we're being coached to do. Same play again to the left down here at the bottom. Again, read the safety. This time you can see the safety stays and takes the post, which creates us a one-on-one on the outside right here with the corner. And then, of course, we're stepping on his toes, so we're going to run by him. All right, running it down here at the bottom. Okay, we're pretty much getting cover one. Once he gets cover one, he's going to kind of look it off and then come back to him. And obviously, again, we're stepping on his toes. We're going to run by him. Try to get stacked right here. Make a good throw. Okay, running it down at the bottom here again. Okay, we got a one high look. Pretty much going to look it off and throw it, come back to the outside guy. He's stepping on his toes. Get stacked, vertical.
And like you mentioned, you work all this during those main 3 practice periods, correct? The 2-on-2s, and how much is it more your corners are working on their specific technique, or are you having them try to work some stuff that they're probably going to see that week based off history?
We do a skelly and skeleton 7-on-7 where I control what the defense does. And if I want to see something different, we do it during that period.
Okay.
Other than that, we're gonna do it against our defense.
Okay.
And so here's just a double vert right here. This particular guy's running the vert, and this particular guy's running the vert. Anytime we have an inside guy running the vert, the outside guy is going to curl, and the other inside is going to get a cross. So it's going to look like verts. So we really have 2 verts called here, the way we call it. And so really, if we get this guy down here matched up one-on-one by cover 1 or cover 0, we're going to throw it to him.
Okay.
If we get a 2 high look, then we're going to work up top and work it to that guy. Here we get in cover 0. Safety's coming down the box to take the back. We're getting pressure. And we take the one-on-one down at the bottom. Good job of working at him and then getting stacked right back on the numbers right here and then high pointing the ball. Same play again, but now you can see one of our best receivers is down at the bottom. They're in cover 1, but they're doubling my receiver. So obviously now we're going to throw the ball up here. We're creating, where's the one-on-one? We're taking the one-on-one. The safety was real aggressive when we walked down and let him press. He didn't do much pressing throughout the year, so we wanted to line up in this formation like we talked about. We talked about creating formations to create matchups. They saw this formation about 4 times that year, and this is the way they played it every time. That safety was not used to walking down and pressing. And so we put one of our best receivers there to where when he pressed him, he was good at getting off the press. And you can see he understood his technique and won. So, again, where can we create the one-on-ones? All right. Now we're doing the same thing, so we're going to do it without two outside guys. So both the outside guys are doing it. On the single receiver side, again, on the 1 high or 0 high, we're going to him. If it's 2 high, we're going to the 2 receiver side.
Yeah.
We get a one high, so obviously we're going to come down here because the safety spins down at the bottom. I'd like for our receiver to be wider, and you can see it almost hurt us, but he does a good job getting vertical right there and making a good catch.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd want to more stack that corner a little bit more instead of coming so far inside. Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to line a little bit wider too. I mean, if he'd have lined up 5 yards wider, it would have been. And like you say, when we get vertical, we want to we don't want to get too far inside. We want truly vertical.
Yeah.
Same play. We run outside. Both outside guys are running the vert. So what does that mean? That means this guy's running the post. He's running a vert, reading it. He's running the vert, reading it. 1 high, we throw it here. 2 high, we throw it here. I just here with the safety spinning down up top.
Yeah.
We're going to kind of look that guy off and hit the vertical. Again, this is too far inside. I'd like for our outside guy up top to get more vertical right here. But anyway, we make a good throw over the top and catch and win right here. So.
I just like how simple this is. Like I'm big on simplicity. It's just 1 high over here, 2 high over here. Yeah. Look at your matchups.
I tell you where I got that from too. As when obviously I'm from Mississippi with Hugh Freeze being at Ole Miss and really a great offensive mind. And then, what's the guy at North Carolina right now?
Phil Longo.
Yeah, Longo, Phil. So Phil came in behind him, and both of them really were very similar in schematics. But when I went up there, I was just like, what's the difference? I asked some of the coaches that were left over, what made it different? And they said, Hugh just made it simple. It was if it's 1 high, we attacked it here. It's 2 high, we attacked it there. And so I just kind of took that. Used to kind of do that a lot, and kind of went back to it, and again, it really kind of helps us when we're trying to create the one-on-one matchups.
Yeah.
So again, this is a 2 tight end set right here, or a pro set, or whatever. Heck, you could be under center right here if you wanted to, but we're going to max protect it up right here, and then take we're running verts on the outside. Receiver does a great job stepping on his toes and then getting stacked, and then right here, how about throttling down and keeping the defender on his back? Tremendous. Hey, that's Coach Weaver's drills right there coming into play. Did a tremendous job of getting stacked and then throttling down and high pointing the ball. All right, so remember we talked about when we see certain teams that play just cover 2, old school cover 2, and coming to cover 3 a little bit, we just we don't want to invest in this play much, but it has been good for us. Mm-hmm. So we just run 4 verticals, and we run it out of trips only. And so this guy's getting vertical. This guy's getting 22 yards down to the other hash. Yep. This guy's down the hash, and this guy's outside. And really all we do is if we get 1 high, we're trying to hit the 2 inside verts just like anybody else would.
Yeah.
If we get 2 high, we're going to read the boundary safety to the single receiver side. If he stays high on top to take this guy, we're going to throw the one-on-one outside. If he rolls over the top, we're just going to work it all the way across the field, inside out. So we'll get to see a couple of those right here. You can see we are in a 2 safety look, so we're going to be reading that safety up top. He's going to come off the hash because, remember, we love throwing what? We love throwing one-on-one to the number 1 receiver over there. So they're saying, by golly, we're going to take that away. So when they start doing that, we kind of have a little answer for that with our verticals right here, kind of taking this play. So good job hitting that vertical crosser right there. This particular time, now they didn't because we don't throw the ball in the flats over here a lot. This guy didn't spin down a lot, but they're going to spin the cover 3 right here.
Yeah.
So when they kind of spin the cover 3 like this right here, you can see it. Our quarterback knows he's going to the guy in the field. And then he's gonna throw a tremendous ball right here up the seam, and a good catch too. So again, just keeping it simple. 1 high, 2 high. Where are we going? What's our progression? All right, here we're gonna do it again. 2 high, so the safety stays on the hash. So we throw the 1-on-1 out wide. Same read again. Got 2 high. Safety's going to come off the hash. Where we're going to hit? Got to replace it right there.
Okay.
All right, so we done hit that on a couple of bit and a half. So now they said, by God, we're going to take that away. Play it a little bit different here the second half. So now the safety up top is going to double number 1. We're going to have the nickel, the safety to the field run with that guy, which creates us 1-on-1 outside in the slot. Now, this is the first year we did it, and we actually gave this guy an opportunity to run a post if he wanted to also. So
yeah. So
again, it's a swipe read. We read right to left or left to right. It's a swipe read. That's what we call a swipe read. Real simple read, and we're not, it don't take us all day to learn that concept. It's pretty easy. But you can see against certain looks, it's a good vertical play for us. Okay, here's another way we run vertical. We just run smash. Okay, so we get a lot of 1 high. A smash is just hitch and slot fades for us.
All right.
Especially if we're getting a lot of things. So we're telling this slot down here to sprint to his feet, stick it. He didn't stick it. But they're really trying to be aggressive here. That you can see they were really trying to jam us in this particular game. And they hadn't really done well. They got away with it a little bit the game before. This is the second time we played them.
Yeah.
So we did a much better job of getting away from that and getting stacked right here and getting the ball out.
Now, do you prefer this against more of the 1 high look instead of the 2 high look?
I do, and I've actually got a call now to where I can run verts over here and smash over here.
Okay.
And guess what this is? 2 high beater.
Yep.
1 high beater.
Okay.
And so I do. Now we can run it against 2 high.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, our slot would now read it like a vert. He would adjust anybody on top of him and sit it down and turn it into a curl flat. But if he's getting man-to-man like this right here, boy, we want to run this. He does a good job running at him up top, sticking it, and then got some room to work out there to throw the ball to the numbers. This is a game we broke the state record. They played man. The first time we played them, they were playing a lot of zone, mixed in some man. We hit a lot of RPOs on them. State championship game, they decided to play us cover 0-1 every snap, and we threw for 593 yards. Broke the state record, so it was a good night for us.
Now out of curiosity, just because I'm OCD about rounded numbers, did it bother you that you were 7 yards short of 600?
Yeah, Weaver about killed me on that one. He was begging for us to get 6 or 7 more. But at the time, we had played. It was a long road to get to where we could win a state championship, and I was worried about running out the clock, getting that ring.
Well, I get it, Coach. I just had to be a smart aleck there. Like, you're 7 yards short. Come on now. Like.
Well, all right, so here's the third way we're running.
Yeah.
To the field, we're going to run verts. Straight up verts, just like we just talked about. To the boundary, this guy is going to stem 1 yard. This is switch. We're going to run 1 yard outside the hash, and at 10 yards, we can keep going. We can break across his face, or we can curl it. The wheel guy can either run vertical, and if he's sitting on top of him, we sit it down. Because it's kind of the old run and shoot choice route. We're looking for that inside guy, and if he's open, we want to get it to him. If not, then we can come back outside to the check down. So you can see right here, he's spinning it. The safety is what? Directly on top of him, so we're going to break it on a post. and the guy up top screwed it up. This guy right here is supposed to be running outside. He thought he was into the boundary. We run this into the boundary on.
Yeah.
So, but we make a nice throw, good route, good catch. Same thing here, boundaries up top. So that's where we're running the switch. We're in empty. We should be running a little hot route right here, right him. And then these guys are getting vertical, and then we're running the switch up top. So that's what should be happening. Oh, my bad. So at 10 yard, now at 10 yard, he's high and outside on him. So obviously we're going to break it on the post for an easy throw. See a good shot of it here in the end zone shot. Stick it. Quarterback anticipates good. We didn't run this route enough this year. I think we ended up 12 or 15, 14 or 15 on this route for a pretty good average, and we just didn't run it enough.
Now, when you break down completions, do you break it down by route or do you break it down by concept and then look at the route within it?
Like for us, we would just break it down by switch.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just say, okay, switch. How many times do we run it? How many times do we complete it for what average?
Okay.
Here, we hadn't shown play action off our toss sweep all year. We faked it and trying to get this Mike out of the middle of the field. I think we could have hit him if we'd have been a little bit more patient, but he decided to go to his outside guy. Outside guy's getting capped, so he just settles right there, giving the ball to the outside.
Yeah, can't complain about that, Coach.
No. Just think he gave up on the inside a little too much right there.
Yeah,
so.
I see what you mean. If you about a half second to second, that middle crosser was coming open, and you could.
So I guess last but not least, this is kind of what we talked about earlier about putting plays together. When you get blitzed a lot, it's kind of hard to run the football sometimes, And so we were getting blitzed a lot against certain teams, but then all of a sudden you look up, bad gum there in cover two. Well, now they're looking good against the pass. So we developed something. We're running split zone right here, and then we're going to run the slot fade by him, and run the fade in the boundary by him, and this guy's pretty much just getting out of the way. So what we're telling our quarterback right here, if we get any kind of cover zero or cover one high, we're pressing down on us. We're going to step back and throw the football right here. If we get a cover two look, we're going to hand the ball off because we probably pretty much got this too deep. It's got to be four of them back there. The best they can have is 7, I guess, in the box. But we'd rather try to run the football. Most of the time we get 6 because they have to get a guy out there on their slot.
Yeah.
We actually mess up at left tackle, and our tight end smart enough to pick up that tackle right there. We should be gap sound with us running split zone. But anyway, we get the match up to the field because the safety over here is kind of on top of our tight end, kind of trying to play both. And so we take the slot fade to the field. There's that 2-on-2 we would do every day in practice right there. Run at him, stick it, and then get the ball out. So that's where we kind of work that one-on-one stuff every day in practice. So when we get situations like that, it's like clockwork. Yeah. All right, here we're going to do the same thing. We're going to run the inside zone. Basically the two closest guys to the quarterback on fade call runs the fade. Everybody else is getting out of the way. And again, all we're trying to do is if we get too high, hand the ball off. If we get one high, we'll throw it, or no high. And you can see right here, this is no high. They're bringing pressure. We felt pretty good about it on second long. They love to bring pressure, so we called it. Now, we don't have a tight end in here, so obviously he can't pick up the backside end. So right here, all our quarterback's going to do is if he's going to throw it, he's going to tell the running back, block, block, block. So, with us zoning to the right here, okay, and then the back taking the first thing off the edge of this tackle, it really becomes like slide protection. And so you can see we get the matchup we wanted right here. We miss him. But he's telling him block, block, block. The back's going to go blocking, and we're getting the ball out. We won the matchup, which we just don't complete it. But that's what we're looking for. We're wanting to take that chance to do that. Same thought process here. Now we're going to run the smash route we just talked about. So we're going to run inside zone with smash. Same thing. One high or no high with pressure. Look, we're going to tell the back block, 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 and throw the slot fade. If it's too high, we'll hand the ball on.
Yeah.
Here we get the one high pressure look. You can see they're coming. We're going to tell them to block, block, block. We're getting the ball out. And we got the matchup that we wanted right there. So that's kind of what we do vertically. You can see we really work hard on trying to get the ball vertical as much as possible. And those are like really the 4 different ways we do it. All right.
Now, because of how vertical you are in your passing concepts, do you track explosive plays throughout the season?
We do. I tell you, the first year we went to this, we were struggling the year before, and they were just playing that tight man-to-man on us, the team we had to beat, and sticking everybody in the box and things like that. So when we went to this, we basically went from 29 explosive plays. Now, to us, an explosive play is 20-plus yards.
Okay.
Both people do 15 for passing, 12 for rushing.
Yeah, the 12 and 16. Like the NFL, the old golden NFL one is 12 and 16. But I posed that question the other week, and there's 18 gajillion different answers, and I don't know what.
Yeah, we probably should do 15. We just started out with 20. It sounded good, but you know what? That's what we do. But anyway, we went from 29 to 118 the first year. And so the second year we didn't get as many. We had 90-something, but that's because everybody said we might need to back up. So they didn't give us the deep balls like they did the first year. But I will tell you a little story on that. The second year we had all our receivers coming back. My quarterback was coming back. We were really good there. And I was like, man, we're going to throw for 6,000 yards this year. We're going to light this baby up. And I learned a lesson, that you sometimes you got to get them down. You got to bait them down a little bit so they can get them deep.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the RPO run game does for you. So we kind of got back to, we started out throwing it vertical, and all that stuff. And we did okay, but it really kind of, we kind of sputtered a little bit. Once we kind of just started running our quick game RPO again, got them back down. It's amazing how by the end of the season, people were tired of seeing that, so they were right back down again in our vertical game. So, again, it's all about we try to just do what the defense gives us, and so we can be successful. All right, so the mesh. The way we do mesh is, we're going to run out a couple of different formations. The quarterback's read is pretty much the same, meaning we're going to always run a wheel into the boundary with the back. He's hot. So if we get a blitz by the backer right here, he's hot. If we don't get that blitz, then we're pretty much going to say, all right, who's covering the wheel? Is it the corner? We're going to kind of read corner to a kind of like a flat player right here, or backer. Once we say no on the back, then we're going to read mesh. And what does that mean? That means we got mesh coming right here, right?
Yeah. In
doubles, we're going to stem it down, push it up, and sit on top of the ball. And the guy to the field always run the post.
Yeah.
So for us, when we read the mesh, we're really going to read the backers. This particular set, we got 3 backers in there. So if I drew 3 backers over here, and we got the mesh coming across like this, okay, if this backer takes him, and maybe say these 2 backers go like this, what's open?
Yeah.
The middle. All right, just vice versa. If they go all here and he goes here, the middle's open again. Or if they all kind of run this way, then we'll throw it to the guy to the field. So we're just looking at those backers. We start out teaching our guys with 2 backers because it's pretty easy. You got 2 backers, they're either going to both chase one way or the other, or they're going to split And so if it's split, we're in the middle. If they chase one way, we throw the shallow opposite.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we mean by reading the hot to the corner to the mesh. So let's take a look at it. And look, this is one of our gas plays. When we call gas mesh, it's always the protection is set to the boundary, and it's always out of doubles. So
Okay.
we can go gas mesh or whatever how you want to signal it, and boom, they're lined up in this doubles. They know the protections to the boundary, and here we go. So if you look at this right here, did the backer blitz? No. So we got no hot. Now he's reading the corner, and the corner is kind of bailing right here. So now he's going to read the mesh. You can see his eyes go hot to corner to now he's reading the mesh. So he's reading. If you see all the backers, they're running into the boundary here towards us, which opens up the guide of the field. We didn't get a very good mesh out of my number 4 down here. He's too deep.
Yeah.
But you can see that once they chase everything into the boundary, the guy with the field's wide open. And again, created explosive play, 33 yards right there, just throwing a crosser. Okay, here's the same play. Here's the same play, except we do it a little bit different out of trips. Again, we're always going to wheel the back. The 2 closest guys to the ball always run the mesh. Now we bring the dig from the field to try to, again, get him over top of the ball and really creating this triangle right here.
Yeah.
That's our mesh. We're trying to create that triangle right there. But it's the same read for the quarterback. So he's going to read, right here, he's going hot, no hot. All right, what's the corner doing? He's chasing him. We got some grass. Let's give him the ball now. And this is actually our 3rd string in there right here, honestly. So we got a freshman quarterback in there and a freshman tailback right here. But they did pretty good. So that's what we want to do, get the ball out right there. You can see, all right, so we go down here. Do we get a hot? No. What's the corner doing? He's chasing. So we could have threw this ball to the back pylon right here to the back. We could have threw this ball. We should have probably thrown it to the back pylon right here. He doesn't. He didn't feel comfortable with it. So let's go and read the mesh part of it. So
yeah,
if you look at it again, it's a 3-backer set. They're all chasing to the boundary. The guy that the field's open again. Can you see that good, Coach?
Yeah, that looks really good. I was just looking at the corners and looking at the back.
Yeah, if you look at it from the end zone shot right here, boom. Really the corner goes with him, but you can see the backer is kind of running with the wheel, so he didn't feel comfortable with that. So now his eyes are going to go to the mesh.
Yeah.
Now they're all kind of running to the boundary, and you hit the guy at the field. So
yeah, they're all just drifting to the boundary, so there before you can hit the open. Yep. That's exactly right there why I love the end zone shot, Coach. It's just simple stuff like that is just
And look, we don't sit down like Mummy does and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
Because again, we are an RPO vertical team. That's where we spend 80% of our time on. We want to just run these crossers and keep going. We want inexpensive plays. These are swipe reads for us. We're going from right to left all the way across the field, swipe reads. And so that's kind of what we're putting together right here again. So you can see no hot. What's the corners chased him, but again, the backers pushed out to carrying the wheel. What's the backers doing? Kind of all to the field or in the middle, so he hits the guy into the boundary.
Well, and they drop off a little deep, so it kind of gives you a little bit leeway to.
Yeah, it does.
To dump it.
All right. Now we're going to get pressure up top. So, hey, we're going to get hot, get the ball out. Get it to him now. Back knows it. He's looking now, see?
Yeah.
So we get pressure, ball game over. Ball's getting out right now. And you asked me, did we run cross? This is us a couple of years ago. I only put one of these in here because we didn't run it a whole lot.
Okay.
We actually run it like, God, no, like Oregon used to run it.
Okay.
And so we got a bubble down here. This guy's clearing out. This guy's running your cross. And up top, we run a win post, which means we're running a post. If we can win, we keep running the post. If we can't, we curl it up.
All right.
The back's going to check and flare. So right here, you can see we're trying to take a shot at the guy vertically outside. They're in cover 3, so obviously that's not there. So now we're going to pretty much high-low the guy over here on our slot. He's taking the bubble, so it opens up the crosser behind him.
Okay.
So we keep it real simple like that. Again, a swipe read, vertical, and then we high-low the boundary right there with the bubble and the outcut. Bubble and the crosser. All right, and then last but not least, we go back. If we're seeing a lot of man, we call this double mesh, which means basically we can run out of different formations, but it's always kind of out of trips for us. We're going to clear this guy with a post, and then we're going to get a double mesh, which means we're going to double pick the backer all the way across to this corner. Our back's going to step up like he's going to block and then run to the flats. He's the first look. Boundary receiver's going to come across. He's the second look.
Okay.
And we don't really do a great job on the second pick right here, but I threaten them so much, by God, that they better get that backer. they go get it. They go get the backer. And you can see they do a good job on that.
Yeah.
This is actually 8 seconds left in the first half of the state championship game. We got no timeout. That's how much I felt good about this play, because it seemed every time, for whatever reason, in championship game, they would play us man when we lined up in bunch, which I don't know why, but that's what they did. Yeah. So we felt like we had a good football play once we got down here, and sure enough, you can see we get the rub, get the back out, and it's an easy walk in. From the end zone shot, same thing. You can see what they really go after that backer. I tell them, look, make them call a dead-gum penalty on you, because most of the time they're not looking at it, but they could do a little bit better acting job. So what we'd like to do is get both of them, and I'll show you a better picture of it right here in a minute. This is better right here. You can see they get a good rub on the backer. Now, if we'll just continue on, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. For this guy, then that's more like it. But we're kind of so worried about that first guy, we kind of throttle down a little bit when all we got to do is just, I want one on top and one on the bottom of that backer. And they kind of do that right here. The guy almost kind of unslips him, but you can see again, clearing it out, and now we get the back. We've pretty much gotten the back every time we run this through the years. So that's kind of what we call double mesh. We kind of hang our hats on that when we in the red zone, or we need a big first down and they're playing a lot of man-to-man and stuff like that. So last but not least, the screens. Yeah. The first one we're going to do is a back screen. Like we talked about earlier, we're pretty much getting these two tackles are going to high wall right here and try to let the ends get up the field. Our guard's going to get the play side guard's going to get the play side backer. He's going to get the second backer. We don't have a third backer, so this guy should trash right here. Pick up trash. Okay. You can see we do a pretty good job of it. I kind of get my left guard out a little faster, and we're doing it trying to do it off play action, because we do play action a lot off our vertical game. Yeah. But you can see we do a pretty good job of matching up those backers right there.
I do like the fact that you leave if you don't have that third guy, is you tell him to pick up trash. I mean, even though he doesn't really get anybody there, I like that concept, and I don't think I've necessarily seen that before. Is okay, you don't have anybody, peel, turn around to help your back in case there's a problem. I do really like that.
Somebody kind of falling in there on him, you know. Yeah. Same thing here. We get a little pressure off this one, so our back knows he better get on out there. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
You're good, Coach.
we don't really get our center out right here. He gets all caught up. Our right guard sees his guy blitzes. I wish he wouldn't have chased him that far. He should know, hey, if his guy blitzes outside like that, let him go and pick up the next thing, which he ended up doing.
Yeah.
That back's just trying to find some grass to get into right there. You see it from the end zone shot. Does a great job by the back, finding an open spot right there and getting in it. That was a great job. So, all right, one more time. It's a nice job by our guard, right guard, getting out. Really didn't end up not having anybody backside because they're kind of pushing it out to the slot. So just goes to show you get the ball to an athlete, what can happen. But we ran this right before half and got a cheap score right before half. All right, now jailbreaks. So love running against man. We get man right here. A lot of times I'll even add a little flavor to it to get the guy with one less guy to block right here, right? If we get him across. Now watch our tackle does a tremendous job coming. I like to see him a little flatter, but he's going to be the kicker. So remember again, the left tackle should be the kicker. Left guard should be following him and then run the alley.
Yeah.
And the center should be following him and then sealing the box. And look, what we tell these two right here now, look, and it happens on this play. If the center beats you out of there for whatever, you get hung up, switch responsibilities.
Yeah.
And the center did a good job of doing it right here. Okay? He runs the alley, but this guard should turn and seal the box.
Yeah.
Okay? So
it's kind of like that old linebacker safety technique. It's where the safety makes the linebacker right if he does it wrong.
Correct.
Okay.
But you can see it creates an explosive play for us. All right, same deal here. You can see they kind of been blitzing their Willie linebacker in this 4-3 scheme all night long. I love when anybody kicks the coverage over to the trips or blitzes a good bit. We want to run the ball. We want to screen into the boundary. We do a really nice job right here. Look at this. We're going to get out and kick. Here comes my alley guy. There's my guy sealing the box.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Here we go.
It's abusive, Coach. That's abusive.
Now, 2nd and 10 right here. We're expecting 2nd and 10. We're expecting pressure. We get it. We really don't get our guard out like we want to, but we get a good job blocking out there by our tackle, and then our athlete just makes something happen. So we really didn't get, and then the center's got nobody to block. See, the center's got nobody to block. He's just turning about looking for somebody. Again, you can see how they're playing man here, and they got a pretty much a 6-man box, which means we got one-on-one in the boundary. So we're gonna be able to. We got to do a better job. I'd like to see him get a little flatter at tackle right here, but again, everybody else is doing a pretty good job running the alley and sealing the box. Bam, seal right there by the center.
Yeah.
You can see we've created some explosive plays on the jailbreak screen. Here it is, run it to the slot this time. Pretty good job right here. Down the line of scrimmage by our tackle, tackle kicking, guards in the alley. Like to see our center maybe turn and seal the box a little bit. His eyes ought to be inside. What a good explosive play for us. This is probably the prettiest one of all. Like we talked about, 4-3. They're going to jump down to a 4-3 right here, I believe. This is what we're going to talk about. This is probably the textbook right here. We're going to set it, tackles. Look at them. Everybody's down the line of scrimmage. That's beautiful. He's going to get the kick. There's your guard working up on the safety who's in the alley. And then you see your center following them up and sealing the Mike backer. And we gone. So we just work a drill every day to where this is center, right guard, right tackle. We put a big dummy out here. We put a big dummy out here, and we put a dummy right here. And so that we get them kick, set, boom, go kick, set, boom, go get the alley, boom, chase them, get wide out of the box, and then turn and seal for in the box. So, and then we're trying to get our receiver, obviously, to come right up underneath the kick out. So when we get the kick out by whoever, we want to get vertical up underneath the kick out.
Yeah.
Real simple. But again, as you can see, that's kind of it right there. We don't. All right, last one. I'm wrapping it up.
Okay.
You know, the last screen we do is kind of the old Oklahoma shallow screen right here, and all we're doing is just running people off up top, and then break down and block them. The back's kind of sealing the box. Now his guy blitzed. We're not gonna block the blitzer. We're gonna let him go. He's gonna seal the next guy. This is pretty good right here. So, and then we'd like to see our guy catching the ball start bending back towards the line of scrimmage once he passes the center, like right here.
Yeah.
Start bending it back to the right just a little bit to make sure we're behind the line of scrimmage. We'll get it to an athlete and letting him go.
Yeah.
Same thing out of trips right here. We do a good job blocking it up and actually score right here.
How often have you been called on like a legal man downfield because he's too far up?
None.
Okay.
None on him.
Okay.
So we kind of got away with that one, I believe.
that's why it's a question. I'm like, oh, that's close.
Yeah, that was the first year we did it. This year we coached it up a little bit better.
Yeah.
We just had I had a good athlete I could give it to that year. This year we only run it once or twice. Really didn't do a great job. We got to get back and do a better job of it this year. But it's a nice little play. You know, when people are really playing you verticals and they're really trying to run with you vertically, it's a nice little change up, you know.
Okay.
So that's kind of what we are, and that's kind of what we would do. You know, do we run? We run a little bit of spacing. You know, obviously we run a little counter off our stick play where we number 3 runs a hitch, number 2 runs a dig, and we were kind of high-low that guy, taking away the hitch and stick on the stick route. But other than that, man, we just, and then look, we run so many curls off our verticals. We run some curls and goes. We run some hitches and goes off that. Just simple counter plays. I mean, if they're gonna, real simple. If they're gonna jump it, then we're gonna double move them. And so we just try to have an answer for when you adjust, and we work on that. It's kind of like I tell everybody, it's kind of like running the veer. You don't stop running the veer just because you see a 6'2" this week.
Yeah.
You know, so we just showed you, we do that, and we get it prepared against every look we're going to see every week. And we try to combine those, a couple of with RPOs.
Yeah.
And so we got a good play call.
My last question for you is because we talked a little bit about practice earlier, how scripted from a play standpoint is your practice?
Is our practice?
Yeah. How detailed is that script?
Everything in practice is scripted.
Okay.
On Friday nights, I don't even take a call sheet out there.
All right.
I've done it all week long on what I'm seeing, what I want to run against certain looks, and what I want to run on certain down and distances, and where I want to run, obviously in the red zone, and I've done it so much myself because it's scripted. You know, I've kind of been studying for the test all week, I like to say.
Now, since you don't have a script, does anybody in like your box or one of your assistants have one just in case for something?
He does.
Okay.
Yeah, he does. Usually, actually, last few years it's been my son, so he knows the offense almost like I do. But he does like to keep a call, not a call sheet, but a play sheet up there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And we have a little game call sheet, and sometimes I'll put it in my pocket, sometimes I don't. Really, it's just for me to kind of review in between series on, or if we get a situation like that, we run this play.
Okay.
But we try to talk in between series, don't forget about this. Don't forget about this because they're playing us like this. Don't forget about this, And, but yeah, we have a call sheet. We try to put our best potential one-on-one shot plays. We put our best RPOs, that we like on certain situations out of certain formations, and then what do we want to do in the red zone? What do we kind of want to do versus pressure?
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of pressure.
Okay.
We feel like we know that, but at the same time, it's always good to have it on paper.
Yeah. So, well, coaches, for those of you watching instead of just listening, coaches' contact information on the screen. It's also in the bio. Also in the bio are our affiliates and sponsors. Make sure you check them out. Click on them, see what they're offering. I know Coach Kirby's got new books, new content every month. Coach Kingston's got stuff every so often as well. Also, remember, if you want to listen to any specific portion of this, all the tags will be in the bio as well. So if you want to go back to a specific spot, so it's easy for y'all to find, either listen or watch. Again, make sure you give Coach a follow on Twitter. His email and his Twitter bio will be in the below if you need to get a hold of him. Coach does some really good stuff. And then again, make sure you subscribe, like the video, share the video so other coaches can find it. We continue to spread good content and good knowledge for coaches across the country and across the world. Thank you again, coaches, and that was our episode of the Gap Down Backer podcast.